Today we will tell the story of the birth of Moses, which is found in the book of Exodus, chapters 1 and 2. May the word of God reach our hearts as a source of inspiration for our lives. In the days that followed, the descendants of Jacob, known as Hebrews or Israelites, flourished in the lands of Egypt. Their families multiplied, their homes expanded, and their stories intertwined with the golden sands of the desert. However, time brought grim changes. A new pharaoh, rising like a dark titan over the throne of Egypt, looked upon the Hebrew people with cold eyes and ruthless calculations. Forgetting the deeds of Joseph, his heart hardened against the Israelites, fearing their growing population and power. Thus, a shadow of oppression descended upon the Hebrew people. Under the watchful eye of the new pharaoh, they were forced into hard labor, their hands shaped for slavery, their spirits oppressed under the weight of the chains of servitude. On the banks of the Nile, under the scorching sun, cities and monuments rose, erected upon the exhausted shoulders of the Israelites. Every brick they molded, every stone they raised was a silent testament to the cruelty of the new regime. Whipped by the cruel overseer's lashes, the Hebrews bent under the burden of oppression, but their souls would not be broken. The flame of hope burned within them, fueled by the promise of better days and the memory of the glorious days of their ancestor Joseph. In the corridors of the Pharaoh's palace, where shadows danced in the torchlight, a cruel conspiracy was taking shape. Concerned to see the Hebrews growing in number and strength, the Pharaoh devised a dark plan to stem their rise. Summoning the midwives, he issued his orders with an authoritative and chilling voice. When assisting a Hebrew woman in childbirth, kill all newborn boys immediately. Only the girls should be spared. But the midwives, brave and God-fearing, refused to obey the Pharaoh's cruel orders. Their hearts were filled with compassion for the lives that lay in their hands, and so they defied the tyrannical orders of the powerful monarch. The Hebrew women, they argued, are strong and quick, giving birth before we even arrive. We cannot condemn these precious newborns to death. God smiled upon these courageous women, blessing them for their loyalty to life. Meanwhile, in the dusty alleys of the Hebrew villages, whispers of fear and anguish echoed among the mothers and fathers, fearing for the uncertain fate of their children. Amid the shadows of persecution, a ray of hope was born among the Hebrews. A child came into the world, bringing with him a breath of life and promise. His mother, fearful for the fate of the little one, cradled him in her arms like a precious treasure, shielding him from the cruel eyes of the world. For 3 months she protected her son with a mother's love, but the pressure of fear and oppression grew each day. Aware that she could no longer hide him in the shadows of her home, she made a desperate decision, guided by the instinct to protect her most precious possession. With skilled hands, she wove a basket of reeds, waterproofing it with tar and pitch. With a heavy heart, she placed her son inside the small craft, like a fragile castaway cast into the uncertain waters of the Nile. Beside her, Miriam, the boy's sister, watched with apprehensive eyes concealed among the reeds, awaiting the unfolding of fate. The designs of destiny guided the steps of the Princess of Egypt to the banks of the sacred river. As she bathed her body in the refreshing waters, her curious eyes spotted something unusual among the reeds. Ordering her servants, she commanded them to bring the basket to her. Upon opening the fragile envelope, the weak and sharp cry of a child reached her ears. A mix of compassion and curiosity invaded the princess's heart upon seeing that precious treasure. "This must be one of the Hebrew children," she murmured, recognizing the origin of the little one. Miriam emerged from her hiding place with determination, her voice echoing among the reeds like a whisper of hope. "Would you like me to go fetch a Hebrew mother to nurse this child?" she inquired of the princess, whose eyes shone with compassion in the face of the helpless baby. "I accept your suggestion. Go find a mother who can feed this boy," replied the princess, her gentle voice echoing over the tranquil waters of the river. Without hesitation, the young woman set out in search of the child's mother, the one who had woven the deepest bonds of love and care. He returned with the baby's own mother, whose heart filled with gratitude and awe at the nobility of the princess. "Nurse this boy for me, and I will reward you," offered Pharaoh's daughter, extending her hand in a gesture of generosity. Thus the boy was raised under the loving care of his own mother, protected by the gentle hands of the Egyptian princess. When the time was right, the mother brought him back into the arms of the noble lady, handing him over as her own son. And it was there, before the eyes of all, that the boy received the name Moses, a tribute to his miraculous journey through the waters of the Nile, whose meaning would echo through the centuries as a symbol of redemption and liberation. This is the first part of a 13-part series, where we will tell the biblical story of Moses and the Exodus. Stay with us so you don't miss the next chapters of this important story for all of us. If you are not yet subscribed to our channel, click on the subscription button and join our community. Don't forget to comment, leave a like, and click on the notification bell. Your presence and participation here are very important to us. And if you missed the previous episodes, we have a complete playlist with all the videos in chronological order. Today I want to leave a verse that is found in the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verses 20 and 21. God was kind to the midwives, and the people became even more numerous and stronger. Because the midwives feared God, He granted them to have their own families. May God's presence be a constant in your life, bringing blessings, joy, and love. God bless you.